Why what you ask for doesn't always come and why it matters. Nowadays, many people believe if they are asking for something, it has to appear in their life. They ask for a good relationship, like money, specific outcome, maybe a person, And there is a question, what happens when it doesn't, or when something completely different shows up instead? Today I want to talk about this. I want to share my own experience, how I was asking for one particular thing for years, but I didn't get it. But I got something more precious, something more valuable instead. So let's get started. And my first question is, why what you ask for doesn't always arrive as expected? And I have several answers on the question. And the first one is, when you ask for something, you ask for one specific particular form. For example, a specific job, a relationship, a specific outcome. But the thing that you truly want is not the thing, but the state that the thing can give you. And the state is hidden underneath your desire. Usually it means that you want safety, you want love, freedom, recognition, and on. So here is the problem. You attach this state to one specific form. But in many cases, the form you expect is only one of many possible paths variants. So when something different appears, it's not necessarily a rejection. It may be an alternative route or variant, and this is also okay. But in order to get even alternative route, we need to wait. So now I want to talk about timing and readiness. When we need to wait for our wish come true, and the feeling when we are ready to get it. And here's the question, why don't we get what we want immediately? And here I have a very interesting answer. Not everything fits every moment. What you want may require a version of you that is still forming, that is still learning. That is why sometimes we need to wait for a long time in order to get what we want. We need to build these specific qualities, these specific skills to get what we want. And now let's talk about readiness. It's really close to timing, because even if something appears, you may not recognize this immediately just because you're not able to sustain it. For example, you desire for a specific wonderful relationship, but this relationship may require you to have emotional stability that you are still forming, that you are still building in yourself. Or a specific opportunity in order to get what you want still requires skills you haven't built yet. And it's really, really important. Sometimes we are not ready to get what we want. And it doesn't matter how we badly wish for it. So delay is not always the rejection or denial. Sometimes it's just a preparation. You have to be ready to get what you want. Or sometimes this time it's given to you in order to understand, do you really want what you're asking for? And it's really interesting. Sometimes you don't need what you're asking for. Sometimes you just don't need it. And in order to understand this, a specific time has to pass. And there are many cases when people look back and they realize that what I wanted back then wouldn't make me happy or wouldn't bring me that joy that I wanted to have. Or even maybe what I received instead led me somewhere better. And this is really interesting, but at the beginning, when our desire just has formed, we don't realize it. We just want it right now, immediately. But sometimes we just need to wait in order to build specific skills, to build something inside of us in order to get it, in order to receive it in a good mood. I can say something like that, or just to understand that we don't really need it. And you cannot really predict circumstances, consequences, long-term effects, or hidden variables. I will repeat it again. Sometimes what we are asking for, we don't need, and we can't see it yet, unfortunately. And also, I want to talk about patience and trust, because it's really important to have when you want to get something. So patience is not just a passive waiting. It means that you trust the process. It means that you are not connected with the result, but you focus on the process and you focus on the things that you can control, and you do your best in order to get your desire, to make your dream come true, and so on. You are patient, you just do, and you are not attached to the result. So trust means accepting that you don't see the full picture, continuing to move forward despite uncertainty. And this is what you need to understand about trust and about patience. So now I want to share my own experience. And for a long time in my life, I was asking God and the universe. I asked them for a good financial situation in my life, and I still didn't get it. And because of it, I suffered a lot. I made different efforts in order to start earning more money. I ran several Instagram accounts in order to get new students, because I taught Russian as a foreign language. I taught Chinese, English, and it didn't work. I ran it for several months. I've tried several times, but it didn't work, and it didn't give me any good results. And because of it, I suffered even more, and I didn't know what I'm doing wrong, because I put all of the efforts. I thought that I did everything that depended on me. And then I realized that I'm doing something kind of wrong. I love teaching, but that's all. I just wanna finish with teaching, and I wanna moving somewhere else. And I started to discover myself, discover my desires, my wishes. I started to try to understand my potentials and what I truly want. And you know what? Instead of good financial situation, I found my life purpose. I still don't have a lot of money, but it's just a question of time. I think I will stabilize my finance, definitely. But now my focus is changing a little bit. I started to focus more on my life purpose. I'm trying to monetize it. I'm trying to understand how I can make it or realize it better in real life. But I understand, if I didn't suffer because of the finance, if I wasn't asking for this specific thing, and I will tell you more, under this wish there is the state of freedom and the state of being recognized, I think, and exactly doing what you truly want to do, what you were meant for, to realize your potential and life purpose. Everything of it give me this state of freedom, that I can share my opinion, that I can do what I want to, and also it gives me recognition. I think and I feel that I'm doing something important, that someone will hear me, will understand something, and maybe my words or my experience will change this person's life somehow in a good way. So, what you ask for doesn't always come in the form you expect. But it doesn't automatically mean that something is wrong, not like that. It may mean that timing is not aligned. You're still getting ready, you are learning, you're building new skills, your new version of yourself. The form may be different from what you imagine. Or something else is unfolding that you cannot really understand yet. And this is the most interesting thing that happened to me. And I couldn't understand why I'm suffering. But these suffers and exactly this desire and this wish that I was asking for led me to understand my life purpose. And in this field, I'm absolutely happy. Of course, I changed my focus. I'm not suffering a lot about finance, but it happens sometimes still. But I'm not in depression as I was before. No, I have goals, I have purposes, and I am achieving them. And I want to tell you something important. God, universe, or you can call it whatever you want, knows better what you need and when you need it. Of course, it's really hard to accept. I didn't want to accept it. But when you get what you want, or you get something instead, and usually this instead is much better that you wanted, you finally realize why all of this suffers, why all of the effort that you put before, what they were for. And that's all for today. I hope this video was helpful for you. It gave you some food for thought, and see you later. Bye.